What's going on, you bunch of heretics? Grab your paint pots, grab your recaf, and let's get some paint on that ever-growing pile of potential. Here, the heresy is my therapy, SlapChop / speed painting tutorials. So, I feel like it's been a bit of a hot minute since I last did a tutorial, probably back in November where we did the Halloween special. But we're back on it and we're giving you guys all the hints, tips and tutorials you need to SlapChop your armies. Today we have the Infernus Sgt, the new model from the Combat Patrol magazine from Hachette Partworks. Yeah, Hachette Partworks. Very much looking forward to getting this guy done. It's been sat on my to-do list for ages. Today, as you can see, we're doing him in the Sons of Horus livery, my kind of redeemed sons inspired chapter for my Primaris Space Marines. So yes, we will have future episodes about Combat Patrol magazine because I think it's really, really good. But anyway, today's all about slap chopping, speed painting our Sons of Horus. I'm taking a bit of a different approach today, so one to look out for. Anyway, without further ado, as always, everything you need will be in the description below. Let's get to it. Alright guys, here he is, the Infernus Marine Sgt from the Combat Patrol magazine, and he looks great and ready to go. We've got the wet palette, our paint pot, our mixtures, paintbrushes, lime and medium, that's what I was looking for, jeepers. Okay guys, obviously you're going to want your medium dry brush, you're going to want your administratum grey, and you know the routine with this. We're going to get plenty on the brush, and all we're going to do is we're going to take it all off. Alright, so administratum grey on the brush, take it all off, loads and loads and loads and loads and loads, and all we're going to do is we're going to apply small circles all over the miniature. Okay, all over the miniature, small circles, getting it absolutely everywhere. Okay, absolutely everywhere, up, down, left, right, all over. Use this medium dry brush, use a small dry brush, but you want to get this absolutely everywhere. This is where it's going to go in the shadows, it's going to go everywhere. Can't stress this enough. Remember, take it all off the brush and then get it on a couple of layers of this to get nice and light. Okay, as you can see, I'm using a smaller one just to get into all the nooks and crannies, just so we've got a little bit of a good base to start with. Again, there's probably like 2 coats on here of dry brushing, but I'm just covering the model in that miniature grey. And then of course I'm taking an older dry brush and I'm just taking all the paint off the miniature itself. Super easy as that. Next up, Orthwan Grey. Again, you know the routine guys, I'm going to get my smaller dry brush. Don't need that kids, don't need that. Yeah, I'm going to get my Orthwan Grey, I'm just basically going to, just like that, take it all off. And again, remember with the Orthwan Grey, with our next stage, we are now just going to go where the light would be shining. Nowhere else, just where the light would be shining. Oh, sorry about that guys. Yeah, where the light would be shining, that's where we're going to go. You don't need to go underneath the model, just where all the light would be shining. That's all you've got to do. Easy as that. Again, small circles is all you're going to need. Small circles all over the model, all over the miniature. Like I say, we're just getting where the light would be catching. And again, just go a little bit lighter than you would expect. So again, a couple of layers will be absolutely perfect. Okay. And then of course, as always, we're going to get our clean dry brush and we're just going to take off all of that excess paint so that we can, so it's nice, there's no dust anywhere. Alright, easy. And of course, finally we've got our white scar. Same again guys, get our white scar, and all we're going to do is, as we've done before, on the paintbrush, plenty off. Yeah, a small little paintbrush there. You have to excuse the focus. Sometimes it's not that great with this camera, but we'll get there bit by bit. Yeah, like I say, take it all off, all off, all off, all off. Okay, and then like I say, we're just gonna get just on the tops where that light would be most prominent on the model. Okay, where the light would be most prominent on the model is where we are going to go. Again, small circles. We're not getting in any of the undertones. We're just getting absolutely all over the model. Like I say, where the light would be shining. Okay, so don't need to go in any of the under areas. We're literally going with this couple layers where the light would be shining. All right, and you can clearly see those shadows already being created. And of course, we're going to get our dry brush, and just finally, once again, we're just going to make sure that our dry brush just gets off any of the excess dust so we can start applying the paint to our model. Okay then guys, Magmar Flame is the paint we're going to start. Basically this is the Sergeant, so I'm going to give him a red helmet. And of course, if you've seen some other videos where we're applying a nice red, we don't want it to have a pink hue. So we're just going to put this Magmar Flame on the helmet as first, just a thin layer, mixing it with Lamy and Medium. You know, 2:1 Magmar Flame and Lamy and Medium is all you're going to need for this. If you want to go 1:1, you absolutely can do as well. Alright, but you want a nice thin consistency, and all you can do is just a nice simple 2 thin coats, 2 real thin coats of Magmar Flame just over this miniature. Alright, just on the helmet. Like I say, he's the Sergeant, which is why he's getting the red helmet. And like you say, just take that time with the detail. We're just painted by numbers now. That's all we're doing, like I say, with the contrast paints and with the SlapChop method. Obviously a bit more of a detailed method, a slower chop, if you will. Yeah, SlapChop, slow chop, I don't know what we're calling it anymore, who knows. But a bit more of a detailed method, a bit more colour theory in our application, but never left a great result at the end. Yeah, 2 thin coats of this is all you're going to need. Alright. Okay, so Alari Emerald contrast. Okay, so our Alari Emerald contrast. You've probably seen this before, like we did with the Outriders video. We're getting our Alari Emerald, we're getting our Lamy and Medium, we're mixing the two together, and we're just going to apply 2 thin coats of this all over the miniature. Nice and easy. So all over the armor work that we want to have our armor in this color. Again, if you've got Sons of Horus, this is going to be ideal for you. Okay. So again, all over the miniature, like so. And like I say, we're just building, going over those areas. 2 thin coats is, like I say, 2 thin coats is all you're really going to need with this. Nice and simple. Just move the paint around. Don't let it pool. Allow the contrast paint to do its work over the base that you've placed on the miniature. Alright, so all the areas that you want to be in the Alari Emerald is where you're going to go. 2 thin coats, thin down to 2:1 Lamy and Medium or 1:1 Lamy and Medium, and said contrast paint. And again, if you've got like a different colour that you want to go with, absolutely go for it. Okay, 2 thin coats applied, and just add any little touch-ups that you want to add on there. There you go, 2 thin coats now applied. Yeah, so some Agrellan mud is what I'm going to use here, just for the base. Nothing wild. It's literally just like whatever you're going to use for your base. I'm putting on now. It just allows it to dry. So by the time we finish the model, we're good to go. But again, quick and easy. Just dab it all on, or however you want to base your model. But if you're just out to try and have your models done nice and quickly, this is a great way of doing it. Getting it put on at the start, and then going from there. Yeah. And there we go, last few little bits, blob it all on, too easy. Okay, next up I've got my Blood Angels Red. Okay, I'm going to basically apply this over the Magmar Flame that we placed on the helmet. So it's nice and easy. Just mix it in, grab our lime medium, and we're going to use again, probably a 2-to-1, 1-to-1, either or. You can just do 2 thin coats of this, but we're just kind of applying this like a shade over the model, just to give it that rich deep red that we're after. Okay, that nice rich deep red over the model, nicely, just like that. Okay, 2 thin coats is all you really need to give that nice, like, brighter red with that orange underhue that we've got from the Magmar Flame. Okay, and again, 2 thin coats. Apologies for the zooming of the camera, it gets a bit blurred at times. Next up, we're going to get our Tertodon Turquoise. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to apply this like a wash over our miniature. So yeah, Tertodon Turquoise. And we're probably going to be very much a 1-to-1 mix of Lamian medium, maybe even a 2-to-1 of Lamian medium to Tertodon Turquoise. We want it to almost be like a bit of a wash that we're basically going to apply all over the miniature. And all this is going to do is just ever so slightly just dull down that Tertodon Turquoise, that Alari Emerald, to give it that real kind of Sons of Horus look. This is something I've developed now. It really just kind of really picks out the miniature how it should have looked beforehand. So I'm a little bit annoyed at myself. It's ever so slight change in the way I'm doing the Sons of Horus type theme for these guys. But again, that Tertodon Turquoise just adds a different kind of that sea green shade to it that I think is really, really nice. And again, just a single layer over this, just like you would a wash, just to kind of give it that bit more depth and texture. So like I say, in there, nice and shaded, all done. Continuing on with that, now we're going to use our Tertodon Turquoise. Again, we're just going to place it back into that original mix, and we're now just going to sort of like where the areas we're going to have black, we're now just going to place some Tertodon Turquoise on those areas. So on the weapon casing, in the grooves of the armour, yeah, weapon casing, grooves of the armour. Again, that pry blaster. Just giving that sort of turquoisey hue. And then obviously on the canister as well, just a little bit on the canister. Nothing too wild, again, just a nice thin layer on the canister. And of course the pauldrons, again, a nice thin layer of this, just the one layer is all you need, and it will just give a nice turquoise under hue when we apply the black. And there he is, ready to go for his next few layers. Okay, Skeleton Horde is our next paint of choice, and all we're going to do with this is basically get some on the palette, and we're just going to put it on the holster, his sort of like weapon pouches, and the belt, the strap on the weapon system that he's got. Alright, so again, just a couple of layers of this. Again, it just gives it a nice sort of leathery effect when we apply the next layer of browns. So the weapon casing, the belt, the weapon casings, the holster, and of course the weapon sling. Okay, next up we're going to use Black Templar. Remember guys, every time I talk about Black Templar, we always thin Black Templar down, okay, with our Lamian medium. Always going to go 2-to-1. It's a very heavy paint, and it can be blotchy quite easily, okay? So nice and easy. A couple of, 2 thin coats, all the areas that we've applied Tertodon Turquoise to. So our canister, first of all, we're just going to apply it onto there. Next up, onto the pauldrons. Again, move the paint around, try and smooth it out as best as possible. the weapon casing on the weapon system. And again, it's just 2 thin coats, maybe even 3 depending on how dark you want to go with this. Alright, but small layers, build it up, okay, allow it to dry and then go over. It's really, really important that you allow it to dry, especially on the pauldrons, okay, otherwise you're going to create a bit of a weird mark. But again, 2 thin coats is all you're going to need. And as you can see, you can start to see it all building up bit by bit. Okay, next we're going to get our Gore Grunter Fur. And this is what we're going to use to apply on the layering system. Ooh, shake it up. God, my paint pots are terrible, aren't they? Yeah, like I say, onto our wet palette. And then we are just going to apply that to Alari and medium again. Again, 2-to-1 mix is all you're really going to need for this. 2-to-1 mix, Alari and medium, to get the desired effect. And again, as before, the areas that you applied the skeleton horde to, you're just going to apply 2 thin coats to those areas of the Sigor, of the Gore Grunter Fur. I do it every single time. So like I say, holster, webbing kit, the webbing pouches, and of course the weapon sling. Okay, 2 thin coats, Gore Grunter Fur mixed with Alari and medium. I will get there with this. But I am going to continue to keep messing up Gore Grunter Fur and Sigor Brown together. I know, I am useless. Fully aware. Okay, next up, we're going to use some of that Magma Flame that we had before. And again, should have done this earlier on, and you can do it when you've got your Magma with your model when you're doing your helmet. But basically going to put it into that Purity Seal. A little bit of Magma Flame, and then grab that Dangerous Red and just pop that over the top, just to give it a nice little red Purity Seal. Easy as that. Nothing wild, folks. Nothing wild. And again, do your Purity Seals however you want to, but Magma Flame, but Dangerous Red, good to go. Okay, Laundry Dust. All I'm going to do this is again for the parchment on the Purity Seal, and all I'm simply doing is just applying 2 thin coats onto the Purity Seal on the side of the weapon system. Skibbity bop. Easy as that. 2 thin coats, that's all you're really going to need for this. Okay, Sigor Brown, and you know the routine. All the areas that we've applied the Gore Grunter Fur to, we're now going to do the same with our Sigor Brown. But again, thin this down with Alari and medium. Make sure we thin it down. Don't just put this straight on, or all that lovely hard work that you've done will be for nothing. Okay, so thin it down with Alari and medium, 2-to-1, 1-to-1 if you want to. And just slowly build up the layers, okay? Slowly build up those layers. As I'm just placing it into the model. And you can just see that create that really nice leather effect already. Super easy. And again, I've just thinned it down a bit more. I'm just going to place a little bit just onto the parchment. Okay, iron down yellow. Again, we're just using the flame. That's the flame on the model. All I'm doing is a bit of iron down yellow. It's not the best thing in the world, but it works okay for a little bit of an easy little wind flame technique. So just cover the flames in yellow. Yeah, just lots of yellow. Iron down yellow works really nicely. It's going to give you a nice flamish looking effect. Once that's done, get your Magma Flame, and all you're going to do is place the Magma Flame just like kind of like in the recesses, and just slowly start to like work a little bit at the flame, just to kind of give it that sort of like fiery look. Alright, piece of paint 1,000 words, mix it into your old Magma Flame, And all you can do, while the yellow's still a bit wet, so you kind of get a bit of a wet blend, just start to work that Magma Flame into all the sort of like nooks and crannies, allowing the yellow to be a kind of like an edge highlight, and you can just start to see that almost fiery looking effect already starting to take place. Then all you're going to do is you're going to take that old Blood Angels red, or if you've got Flesh Tearers red, use that, and just start to work that into the lower end of the creases, so it's in all like the crevices, and it just darkens it up nicely for a really simple and basic flame effect. Alright, this ain't going to win no Golden Demon Awards, let me tell you that, but it just does give you the idea of a nice simple flame effect. Super easy. Super easy. Okay, you know the routine, guys. Zandri dust, small dry brush, take absolutely everything off. If I've said this once, I have said it on the past 40 videos that I have done with this. Put it on your paintbrush, take absolutely all of it off, and I mean all of it, absolutely all of it off, and then you're going to slowly work it onto your model. Okay, slowly work it onto your model. Feather dusting. Don't go on this too hard because you will ruin the effect that we're after. Okay, it's just a very nice simple grain effect. Okay, and it'll just pick out all the highlights that we want, add a little bit of edge highlight to stuff, but make sure that you take everything off the brush and feather dust it. Okay, absolute feather dusting. And then once you think there's nothing left on there, even more than what there already wasn't, we'll just add a little bit more and add a little bit more, and you will just start to see it change, as you can see here. Okay, we're just starting to see that change. Alright, it's nice and easy. Feather dust it on, and there he is. Okay folks, we're almost there. Iron Warriors. Okay, so where we're going to start to get all the metallics into our miniature. So, this is going to go. So grab ourselves a bit of Iron Warriors, stick it on our palette. That's it, bit of Iron Warriors on the palette. And all we're going to do is we're going to go on the lighter part, the flame grill, if you will, on the model, so all of that, and the handle areas. You see the handle underneath, that will go on there as well. On the canister, I did the top and bottom of the canister. That's where I applied mine to. Okay, and again, you want 2 thin coats of this. Don't put it on too thick, just 2 thin coats on the areas that you want to be silvery metal. Okay, so on the canister I've done on the weapon itself. Like I say, just touch-ups here and there. You'll see where you want to put it and it will just make sense to you. Okay. And there it is. Easy as that. All done there. Okay, I'm going to take my Balthazar Gold. Okay, my Balthazar Gold. And again, I'm going to create a nice bronzed effect. Okay, remember from the old ones that we did like a different like non-metal metallic yellow type thing. But this one I'm going with like a proper Sons of Horus style bronze look. So on his little relic there. Again, 2 thin coats of this on the relic. On elements of the pack, so just the 2 kind of like the 4 bottom vent ports is where we're going to go with this. And don't forget to keep washing your brush throughout the process. Okay, keep it nice and clean and damp. And then of course I'm going on the crest as well. Okay, so nicely just on the crest, move the paint over nicely. Don't try and rush it. let that Balthazar gold just sit nicely on the miniature. Super easy, nice and simple, don't try and rush it. And of course, the edges of the pauldrons as well. Alright, just move that paint down. Nice and easy. Move the paint down, move the paint around. Keep it simple. Remember guys, just keep it really, really simple. Okay, and like I say, if you need to just add little touch-ups, but I'd probably just go with like 2 thin coats is all you really need for this. Remember, no edge highlighting required, just nice and simple work on the model. Okay, Null Oil, Liquid Talent, here we go. Liquid Talent, you know the routine. Basically, with this, all we're going to do is, everywhere that you have used, you've gone with the Iron Warriors, you're now going to apply a generous helping of Null Oil, and this will do its job, just sitting in all those crevices, and just kind of like give it that null effect. Okay, so on the handle, just get it all in amongst there. Remember, you haven't got to be neat with this. Honestly, you do not need to be neat with this. Null Oil will just do its job. Don't ask me how it does it. Don't ask me why it does it. Just trust that it does it. Okay, so all those areas you've applied Iron Warriors to, you are going to apply Null Oil to. And it will just do its job. Let it do its job. Okay, let it do its job. You know, move it around. No need to be neat with it. Just place it on the areas you've applied Iron Warriors to, and you will be rewarded. Right, Agrax Earthshade. Exactly the same principle, exactly the same concept, only this time we're going to do it with all the areas we've applied the Balthazar Gold to. Exactly the same approach as what we've just done with our Null Oil, guys. Okay, nice and easy, just all over the model. Nothing wild, nothing crazy. Keep it simple, keep it safe. Just trust the process. So all those areas we've applied Balthazar Gold to, we're just going to apply a nice generous helping of Agrax Earthshade. Look at that liquid talent, look at that liquid talent just sitting in all the recesses there like that. You know, if you want to add more to it, add more to it. But it just breaks that model up really nicely, doesn't it? You know, create a little bit of shadow with it, play around with it, try it out. But honestly guys, Agrax Earthshade, you cannot go wrong. Place it on your wet palette first, and then just get it on the miniature. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. You love to see it. You really do. Okay guys, White Scar. So for this, I am using a finer detail brush. This is the Series S1 from Artis Opus. Love this brush for this little fine detail work. But again, it's just super easy. Even if you haven't got a small brush, it will work quite well. All you're going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of white in the eyes on both sides. Just take your time with it. If it becomes the beauty about this is, if it is a bit messy, it really doesn't matter. Trust me, it really doesn't matter, okay, because of what we're going to apply next. Alright, so just put some dots in the eyes, slowly build it up, nice and simple, nothing wild, okay. Grab yourself some warp lightning, and this is what I mean by it. It's super easy, right? Grab yourself some warp lightning, and all you're going to do, this is eyes in a minute. eyes in literally a minute. White on, warp lightning, throw it over the top. Boom, easy as that. So even if you've got it like a little bit blotchy in the areas, the warp lightning will sit in the creases, will create a nice glow, and you're all good. So even if you get the warp lightning all over the face or around the sides of the head, it doesn't matter, because it's going to create like a nice little glow effect. It's great. Alright, but if you can keep it neat, keep it neat. And there you can see the glow all done. No layers upon layers upon layers of trying to get stuff done. Okay, so iron down yellow. We're going to create a nice scorched effect on the weapon system now. Alright, so iron down yellow, and it's all going to be done while everything's pretty damp. Alright, iron down yellow. It's going to go, so we're going to break it down into like quarters. So the second quarter, or sorry, yeah, the second quarter, or even thirds if you're middle third, we'll go with thirds. Middle third, as you can see, is going to be iron down yellow. Okay? Iron down yellow, just placed in there. This one needs to be wet and it'll work out nicely. Next, we're going to get our not Tertodon Turquoise, our Scorched Purple. And all you're going to do is just throw a little bit of this onto your wet palette. Your yellow will still be a little bit damp, so don't worry, that's absolutely fine. So all you're going to do is about 1 centimetre's worth of Scorched Purple, dampen down. And it's going to go into the kind of like next little bit along, so up until like the kind of the angle of the flamer, okay? And you can mix it in a little bit with the yellow. Okay, and it's just going to go almost to the edge of the weapon, but leaving a slight gap. Next, we're going to take our Tesar blue, and you're going to go to the very end of the model and creep ever so slightly into the purple. Okay, so you're going to creep ever so slightly into the purple. I think I might have to make this a bit more of a detailed video in all fairness. I don't want to feel like this is being rushed. But it's like this is just like a bit of an extra thing if you want it. If you don't, no worries. Yep, so all you can do is add the purple onto the end and just move it slightly into the blue, ever so slightly, into the purple and the blue, so they kind of like mesh together. But it's important that it's all kind of like still a little bit wet. Alright, and as they'll create a really nice little wet blend between the two. Okay? Or between the three colours in all fairness. Once that's dry, that is the effect you're going to get. Alright? It's very easy. It makes more sense when you're actually applying it. Okay, finally, we're going to get our Stormhost Silver, and all you're going to do is get some Stormhost Silver on your paintbrush, and then all you're going to do, okay, I've got a smaller paintbrush, a smaller dry brush here, like a nice thinned out dry brush, and again, all I'm doing is very simply getting on my paintbrush and then taking it all off, taking it absolutely all off. All off, and you're going to very delicately on the areas that you've applied the metallic colours to, so all the silvers and all of the golds. Okay, this is where you're going to apply it to, so this will just give you a nice highlighted effect without having to edge highlight anything. Okay, just take your time with it though. Okay, just do take your time with it, because it could, you know, it might get on the armour wet, but it's okay, don't worry. Like I say, small amount, you've taken most of it off, so it will just pick out those little bits of the metal work that you want. Alright, so on the Balthazar Gold, on the Iron Warriors, where you've added your highlight, where you've added your shades, you're now going to add a real nice, gentle, brushed highlight, dry brush, done. And there he is, guys. Model all done. Sorry if it zooms out a little bit. The zoom isn't that great on when it's up close. But there he goes, is guys, all done, dusted, and complete. Ready to join your ranks. Like I say, guys, if you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and let me know what you think. As always, thank you so much for watching, thank you for your time, and yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. See you on the next one, guys. Bye bye.